Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So in this video we are going to discuss about the anatomy of the gallbladder. So the gallbladder is it's a pear-shaped organ. It's a pear-shaped organ and it has a capacity of up to 30 to 50 ml. So what happens? The gallbladder, it stores and concentrates the bile fluid that is secreted by the liver. It stores and concentrates the bile and discharges into the duodenum by its muscular contraction. So sometimes the radio-opaque substances also, we have the radio-opaque substances which are also excreted in the bile are also concentrated in it. So what is the use of radio-opaque substances? So in terms of cholecystography, the radio-opaque substances are given, it is secreted by the liver and then it is transported into the bile, and after concentrating in the gallbladder we can get the imaging of the gallbladder. So coming to the hormonal control of gallbladder emptying. So when the food is rich in the fat and it enters the duodenum, the duodenal cells will liberate a hormone called CCK, cholecystokinin. So what happens? This cholecystokinin will cause the muscular contraction of the gallbladder and thus emptying the gallbladder. So coming to location of the gallbladder. So what is the location of the gallbladder? The gallbladder is located in the fossa for gallbladder, which is located on the inferior surface of the liver. We have discussed about complete anatomy of the liver. Please make sure to watch that video. So the gallbladder is located in the fossa for gallbladder on the inferior surface of the right lobe of the liver, and it is usually attached to the liver substance by connective tissue. It is attached to the liver by connective tissue, and it also has venous communication with it. So this is about the location of the gallbladder. Coming to its dimensions, what is the length of the gallbladder? It's around 10 centimeter, 4 inches, and what is the width? It measures up to 3 centimeter. The length is 10 centimeter and width is at 10 centimeter. So now let's discuss about parts and relations of the gallbladder. So coming to the parts, what are different parts of the gallbladder? So what happens? This is the gallbladder. Don't worry, I'll explain to you everything. So this is the gallbladder. This complete is the gallbladder. What are the parts? It has a fundus. It has a body, and also it has a neck. And just below the neck, it has a pouch called as the Hartmann's pouch. Generally, gallstones are situated in the Hartmann's pouch, causing obstruction to the cystic duct. So this is the right hepatic duct, this is the left hepatic duct, and this is the common hepatic duct. Common hepatic duct is joined by the cystic duct from the gallbladder and forms the common bile duct. And common bile duct is joined by the common pancreatic duct to form the common hepatopancreatic duct, which is guarded by the sphincter known as the sphincter of Oddi. Sphincter of Oddi guards the common hepatopancreatic duct, which opens into the second part of the duodenum. So this is about the different parts of the gallbladder. Let's coming to the fundus of the gallbladder. Fundus is Fundus is nothing but it's a expanded blind end of the organ. So it projects into the inferior border of the liver and also touches the anterior abdominal wall. So it is completely surrounded by the peritoneum. And anteriorly it is related to the anterior abdominal wall, and posteriorly it is related to the transverse colon. And it is continuous through the body of the gallbladder with a narrow neck. So this is about the fundus of the gallbladder. Coming to the body of the gallbladder, body is what? It's directed upward and backward, and it is also directed to the left of the neck of the porta hepatis, and its upper surface is related to the liver, and it is devoid of the peritoneum. It has no peritoneal foldings. It is devoid of the peritoneum, and its undersurface is covered by the peritoneum and is also related to the second part of the duodenum. This is about the body of the gallbladder. So coming to neck of the gallbladder. So what do you have in the neck? Neck is a narrow end, right? Narrow end of the gallbladder lying at the right end of the porta hepatis. It lies right to the porta hepatis, and it is attached to the liver by the loose areolar tissue in which cystic artery is also embedded. Its posterior medial wall, the posterior medial wall of the neck, a pouch like dilatation is formed, right, which I have just told you. This is known as the Hartmann's pouch, and this Hartmann's pouch is directed downward and backward, and commonly the gallstones are lodged in this pouch, which causes adhesion to the second part of the duodenum and also may perforate the duodenum. So this is about the neck of the gallbladder and the structure of gallbladder along with its duct. Now let's discuss about the arterial supply, venous drainage, lymphatic drainage and nerve supply of the gallbladder. So coming to the arterial supply of the gallbladder. Arterial supply, this is the gallbladder, right? It has a cystic duct joined by the right and the left hepatic ducts to form the common hepatic duct. So what happens? A branch from the celiac trunk called as the common hepatic artery, and then the common hepatic artery will divide into the hepatic artery and the gastroduodenal artery. This hepatic artery will divide into the right hepatic artery and the left hepatic artery, and from the right hepatic artery a small branch called as the cystic artery will supply the gallbladder with its descending branches. So arterial supply of the gallbladder is by the cystic artery, and cystic artery is a twig from the right hepatic artery. I am explaining once more. This is the celiac trunk derived from the abdominal aorta. It will give a branch called as the common hepatic artery. The common hepatic artery will divide into two branches known as the gastroduodenal artery and also the hepatic artery. This hepatic artery will divide into the right hepatic artery and the left hepatic artery, and the branch from the right hepatic artery called as the cystic artery will come, and it will give its descending branches to the gallbladder, thus supplying the arterial supply of the gallbladder. Now let's discuss about the venous drainage of the gallbladder. So what about the venous drainage of the gallbladder? The gallbladder has twofold venous systems. One is by the cystic vein. So the cystic artery is accompanied by the cystic vein, and this will drain into the portal vein. Cystic vein is draining into the portal vein, and another we have the small number of veins which will arise from the gallbladder, and it will pass superior surface of the gallbladder to the liver, and there we have small branches of veins which will arise from the superior surface of gallbladder, and they will pass to the liver, and from there they will drain into the hepatic veins. So venous drainage has two folds. One we have the cystic vein which will drain into the portal vein, and another when we have the small branches of veins which will go to the liver and will drain into the hepatic veins. This is about the venous drainage of the gallbladder. Now let's discuss about the lymphatic drainage of the gallbladder and also its nerve supply. So coming to the lymphatic drainage. What do we have in the lymphatic drainage? The majority of lymph vessels from the gallbladder will drain into the cystic lymph node of Lund. We have the cystic lymph node of Lund, and this is located in the Callott's triangle. Callott's triangle, or it is also called as the cystohepatic triangle. We have discussed about this triangle in another anatomy video. Please make sure to watch that. So the lymphatic drainage is mainly by the cystic lymph node of the Lund, which is located in the Callott's triangle, and the node alongside the upper part of the bile duct, that is the node at the anterior border of the epiploic foramen, they will drain into the celiac group of lymph nodes. And also we have few lymph vessels from the upper surface of the gallbladder, and they will communicate with the subcapsular lymph vessels of the liver. So we have the cystic node of lymph node of Lund, which is located in the Callott's triangle, and under they will drain into the celiac group of lymph nodes and also the subcapsular lymph nodes of the liver. So this is about the venous drainage of the liver. So finally coming to nerve supply of the liver. So the gallbladder receives its nerve supply via cystic plexus. We have the cystic plexus, which is nothing but as the sympathetic fibers from the T7 to T9. We have the sympathetic fibers from the T7 to T9 spinal segments through the cystic plexus. They supply the gallbladder, and another we have is the parasympathetic fibers from the right and the left vagus nerve. Also supply the gallbladder, and also we have the fibers from the right phrenic nerve, right phrenic nerve, which supplies the diaphragm, will also supply the gallbladder. So we have the cystic plexus with our sympathetic fibers from T7 to T9. We have parasympathetic fibers from the right and the left vagus nerve, and also we have the right phrenic nerve. So this complete set of nerves will supply the gallbladder. So clinically, if there is a gallbladder inflammation, the pain is referred to the inferior angle of the right scapula by the sympathetic fibers. Pain is referred to the inferior angle of the right scapula by the sympathetic fibers, and also at the tip of the right shoulder via the right phrenic nerve, and also the stomach by the vagus nerve. So we have the dermatomal supply, right? So if it is gallbladder is affected, then we can feel the pain in the inferior angle of the scapula, right scapula. If it is affected by the sympathetic fibers, then we can feel the stomach pain due to the parasympathetic effect by the vagus, and also we can feel the right shoulder pain due to the innervation of the right phrenic nerve. So this is about the nerve supply of the gallbladder. Thank you guys, thank you for watching with the video till the end. If you are happy with the video, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button, and also share it to our other friends who are finding anatomy difficult. Thank you so much.